So in this one, we're going to write this equation in standard form, and we're going to identify all the good stuff: vertex, focus, axis, symmetry, directrix, and we're also going to graph the parabola. Now, as we see, our x's are being squared, so does that mean it opens vertically or horizontally?
Vertically.
Very good, because x is being squared. And is it going to open up or is it going to open down?
Down.
And how do you know?
It's negative.
Because it's a negative 1/4. So that general equation, the standard form is
X minus K. X minus K.
Squared.
Equals 4py minus K.
very good. Remember, h always goes with x and k always goes with y. So it opens down, and basically we have to get this to look like this. We have to get our x's by themselves on one side, and then we need our y's to be on the other side. And right now we don't have that. So what do you think we're going to have to do to write this in standard form? Not so much factor, that's a part of the process, completing the square. Okay? And you know you're going to have to complete the square because you have an x squared term and an x term. Okay? So, babe, you said something before. We can definitely start that way. We can definitely subtract 6 to each side. Now, there are multiple ways, guys, that you can write an equation in standard form. Here is just one way. Okay? I can show you other ways if you like, but we'll roll with this way. Okay? So now that we just have our x squared and our x on one side by itself, can I complete the square from here?
No, you do multiply all of your things by a negative 4.
That would be a good thing to do. Multiply everything by -4 because in order to complete the square, the number in front of my x squared has to be a 1. It cannot be anything else. So if we multiply everything by a -4, it's going to get rid of that -1/4. So this turns into a -4y. Always has to be positive, yep. Then what? Plus 24 equals x squared minus 12x. Now that a is 1, or this front number is 1, I can complete the square. Okay, so how do I complete the square? Half of b. So we have what? Wait, don't skip a step. We're going to take 36, we take half of b squared, so we're going to plus 36 here, and then we're going to what? Plus 36 on the other side. Okay, so when we simplify the left side, we'll have a -4y plus 60 equals
X minus 6 squared.
Is everyone okay up to here? All we're doing is completing the square, like how you guys watched that video to refresh your memory on how to do it. Okay? And now it looks like, oh, we're almost there. We have that whole x minus h squared part, but y cannot have this -4 in front. We're going to have to do something. Factor out a -4. And when we factor out a -4, we get y minus 15. Very good. Now it is in standard form. Okay? You just have to, the one thing that's going to mess you up, and it messed me up last period, was you want to make sure you have the correct form. Last period I put the 4p with the square, and it never goes with the square. It's always with the non-squared variable. Okay? So now this.
Teachers, pardon the interruption.
Let's do everything non-squared.
All right, so our vertex is located where?
615.
615. Oh wow, that's pretty high. Okay, so our scale goes by 2s both ways. So 15 would be right here. What's our focus? 614. Oh. So if h is 6 and k is 15, what was p? -1. So since it opens up, that means it affects our y, so we're going to take our y corner of our vertex and subtract 1. That's where the focus comes into play. What about the directrix? Y equals 16. You subtract p from your k value, so y equals 16. And the axis of symmetry, which I'm going to write down here, is x equals 6. Awesome. Does everyone okay up here? Can somebody give me a point they use? 0.6 definitely work, which means that I would have 12.6 as another one.
You would have 4, 14.
4.14. So that means we would have 8.14. Anybody pick a different set of points? 2.11. Okay, I like how, I'm able to grab these different points from you guys, so then I can get a really nice picture. So 2.11, which means that 11.11 works, because it's symmetric. 4.14, 8.14, 0.6, 12.6. And that's a pretty good looking parabola to me. If you pick some different points, that's cool. Good stuff. It works. Questions? So I want you to do the next two. Okay? Now, the first one of the next two, I don't want you to graph that one. Okay? But the second one I want you to graph. Okay? So don't worry about graphing the next one, but the second one, graph that one. Okay? Or if you just so happen to have a little extra time before I go over it and you want to graph it, you can.
So
Okay?
graph the long.
Yeah, graph along. Okay? What is that? All right? Yeah, still do the other one, like, analyzing everything, but you don't have to worry about graphing. So this one on your left, does it open up, down, left, or right? It opens up, and when you do it open vertically because the x was being squared, and since there is no x term like there is an x squared term, there's no need to complete the square. Okay? So that's one thing I also look out for. Don't do any extra unnecessary work if you don't have to. But I do need my x's on and my y's on opposite sides. So I'm going to subtract 3 over and add 4y to get this. And it's almost in standard form, except I can't have a number in front of my y, so I need to factor that out. So I end up with y plus 1, and I just have an x squared over here. Now if I just have an x squared and no h, what does that mean h is? 0, k is, and p is equal to 1. So my vertex is 0, -1. My focus, what? 0, 0. My directrix,
-5.
y equals -2. And my axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Now I told you not to worry about graphing this one because we've already graphed one that opens up. Okay? And I just want you to get a graph of all the different types. We graphed one already to the left, one up, one down. So the last one to graph is one to the right. This one goes to the right. Question? Yes. Yes. That's a very good question. I'm going to repeat it just to make sure that you guys heard this. He asked, directrix and axis of symmetry always need to be written as x equals or y equals, and that is a yes because they are lines in there, so you need the equation of a line, which is x equals or y equals, okay? Don't forget that. Yes, you will lose points. So, this one though, we have to do what? We can, well, we can divide everything by 3 first. We could subtract 15 over first. Honestly, there's so many different ways to put this in standard form. There's so many. So which one?
You could take 3 out by 3 first.
No, it's not. It's not actually 10 times harder if you took the 3 out. Okay, so I wanted to show you a different way as well.
I subtracted 15.
I can't do that, no, because I don't want to confuse nobody.
I divide by 3.
Let's divide by 3.
So that 15 is still going to be there.
If you divide by 3, you still need to. Alright, so everything has to be divided. So that's going to give me a y squared
Plus
2
2y
plus 2y
plus 5
plus 5
equals 4x.
equals 4x. Now what can I do?
Subtract 5.
I can subtract 5 over. So if I subtracted 15 over, I still could have divided by 3, so it really didn't matter. And now what do I do? Complete the square. Y squared plus 2y equals
Plus 1.
plus 1, because you take half of b and square it, and you have to make sure that if you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So what does that turn into? So that'll be y plus 1 squared equals
4x minus 4.
4x minus 4, but huh? No, so basically to go from this line to the last line, you basically factor that left side, and because you basically need it in that standard form. So what is h? K, p, 1, because 4p will equal 4, so p will be 1. Your vertex is 1, negative 1. Focus is at 2, negative 1, because since it opens to the right, that means your x's are going to be the ones that are affected. X equals 0? Because you subtract 1. Sorry. Had a brain fart. All right, so let's get everything in here. X equals 0, there's a vertical line. Vertex is at 1, negative 1. My scale goes by 2's. 1, negative 1. Focus is at 2, negative 1. Axis of symmetry is y equals negative 1. So it opens to the right. Somebody give me a point.
2.5. I did 2.
5
4,
and
3, 5,
8.
and then 8.
Wait, okay, so these are not nice, so I need to write these down. Okay. So give me an x.
5.
5, and I'll take 2. When I plug in 5 for x, I get what for y?
3.
Really nice and simple like that? Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so you plug in 5, you get a positive 3, which will put you right here, which means you need to be that same distance away from your axis of symmetry. Okay? So, you're right there. Okay? So that's probably all I need. But what's you get for 2? Negative 3 and 1. So negative 3. So 2, negative 3, and so there you go. There you go. Okay, so we've been able to analyze parabolas. We've been able to graph them, right? Now we've also been able to go from an equation for a parabola and write it in standard form. But there is another way to write a parabola, and that's when you're given different pieces of information, okay? So for the next 3 examples, we are going to write an equation for and graph a parabola with different given characteristics, okay? So we're given an A that the focus is 3, negative 4, and the vertex is 1, negative 4. Okay? So let's think about this a little bit. I'm going to go to my graph that's right here. I have a focus at 3. See, I go by 2's on my, right? Okay, go by 2's on my graph. 3, negative 4. There's my focus. And then 1, negative 4. Just off that alone, you know how your parabola is opening. Which way? It's going to open to the right, because remember the focus has to be on the inside. It has to be on the inside of the parabola. Okay? And on top of that, you know your P. It's 2. It's the distance between the focus and the vertex. Well, to go from 3, negative 4 to 1, negative 4, that's nothing but 2. So you already know your P is 2. Exactly. And you already know your H and K because you were given your vertex, which is 1 and negative 4. So we have all of these information to write our equation. Okay? Now, for an equation that opens up to the right, is the y being squared or is the x being squared? So I'm just writing the general form. And now I can just plug in to write my equation. It's going to be y careful, plus 4 squared, because the k is negative, so 2 negative make a positive, equals a x minus 1, because p is 2, so 4 times 2 is 8. And there's your equation. Is everybody okay so far? Now we just have to graph the rest. Now we already have our vertex and we already have our focus because that was given to us. Where's our directrix located? X equals negative 1, because that has to be the same distance away. And what's our axis of symmetry? Y equals negative 4. Okay, and I know I probably should have used orange. I probably should use different colors because I know it's kind of hard to see. I have to open up to the right. So let's pick 2 values. What's a good value to pick for x? We could do it 2. And let's go a little wider. We have all that space. How about like 8? Does 8 work? 1 4. 1 negative 4. That looks very good. So vertex 1 negative 4. Focus. So when we plug in 2 for x, 2 minus 1 is 1 times 8 is, then we have to do what? Take the square root. So you get about 2.8 plus or minus. Then what's the last thing you have to do? Subtract 4. Negative what? 2.8 and? Negative 6.8 and a positive 2.8, right? Or are they both negative? So a positive 2.8 minus 4 is a negative 2.8, yes? And a negative 2.8 minus a 4 is a negative 6.8, right? Okay. So at 2, okay, well y'all the ones with the calculators. Somebody type it in and tell me.
It's negative 1.2 and then negative 6.8.
Alright, so negative 1.2 and negative 6.8. Okay, right now. Alright. So negative 1.2 and negative 6.8. Alright, what happens when you plug in 8? 8 minus 1 is 7. 8 times 7 is 56. And you have to take the square root of 56. I need confirmation before I write it down. That's 1. Okay, there should be 2. What's the square root of 56? So now you have to subtract 4. So negative 11.5 and 3.5. So at 8, we're at a positive 3.5, so that's 1, 2. No, 2. Right there. And a negative 11.5 is out of my picture, but I can still. And there's my parabola pointing to the right. So the main thing with this is because pretty much after we found the equation, everything else had been a review of what we've been doing already. But I just want to make sure that everyone's okay with writing the equation from the focus and the vertex. We're able to figure out P because that's the distance between the focus and the vertex, or the vertex and the directrix. And we were given the vertex, so we knew H and K already. Are you guys okay with that? Okay. The next example. We're told the vertex is -2, 4, and the directrix is y equals 1. Okay? Now, let's think about this. If the directrix is y equals 1, that's a vertical or horizontal line? Horizontal. Which means the graph is going to have to either open up or down. And the vertex is at a -2, +4. Okay? Now specifically, it's going to have to open which way? It's going to have to open up because the parabola cannot cross the directrix. Okay, so it's going to have to open up. And since it opens up, we know that it's going to be in the form of y minus k equal, 4p, y minus k equals x minus h squared. And everybody understands how I was able to know that, right? Because when it opens up, the x's have to be squared. The focus is going to be at -2, because the distance between the vertex and the directrix is 3 units. So then you add 3 units to the 4. And if h is -2 and k is 4, and you know the distance between the directrix and the vertex, you know p is 3. So we have our equation yet again. What's 4 times 3? So we have 12, y minus 4 equals x, and there's our equation.
How did you get H?
Okay, so we already knew h and k because they were given our vertex. So that's h and that's k. And again, p represents the distance between your vertex and the directrix, or the vertex and your focus. And since the vertex is at -2, 4, and your directrix is at 1, y equals 1, the distance between 4 and 1 is 3 units. So that means that p equals 3. Okay? Yes? P is not always positive. If our parabola opened down, then p would be negative. Or if our parabola opened to the left, p would be negative. That's a very good question. So do be aware of that. That's why I always ask you that first, so we can keep that in mind. Okay? So now I want you to we already found the focus, find my axis symmetry, and graph the rest of this, okay? You knew that it opened up because of the directrix, okay, and where the vertex was located. Because since the vertex was located above the directrix, the parabola doesn't cross the directrix, it goes the opposite direction. So it had to open up. Alright, what's my axis of symmetry? That's the only thing I don't know. X equals -2. So, and now what are some points I can use?
6 and 8.
Wait, hold on. I can use 2 and 6. I know 4 and 7. So if I use 2 and 6, that's 2. Actually, it's more than 2, but in my mind is 2 lines, so I can help myself graph this. This one's going to be here. Yeah, this is going to be pretty wide. Anybody use like 8?
I used
It's
8.
10.
Y,
Oh.
I used 8 for X.
And what you get for Y?
7.
For X,
Not quite.
It should be.
6.5 and -10.5.
It's not what I
Should be a Y parabola.
got. Mine's really light. Mine looks like one of those.
Okay. Last one that we're going to do for the day, or for this half of the video. This one, we have a focus at 2, 1. It opens left, so that already gives us something, and contains the point 2, 5. So if it opens left, does that mean my x's are squared or my y's are squared?
Your y.
My y's. So I already know the general form. And p is going to be negative because it opens left. So we do need to keep that in mind. Now,
It's not h squared, the x is squared.
the x is not squared. All right, so the focus. That's all they really give us. We can't really derive the vertex from that, like right away. But knowing that it opens to the left, what is the general setup, like the general equation to find the focus? What's that form? What's the
Ooh.
h?
K plus
H plus P.
So k is the one that's changing.
H plus P.
So h plus p, k. That's the general makeup for the focus. Okay? Not necessarily. We do know though.
Oh, k.
plus 2, 5. Is that a point on the graph?
Okay, hold on. I get a lot of questions. Okay. So you know 2, 1 is on the actual graph. Yes, you do know that. But we need the vertex, and we also need to know what p is in order to actually have the equation. However, because this is the setup for opening to the left for focus, right? Okay. You do know that k is 1. You do know that. Okay? So we know k equals 1 from the fact that they gave us our focus and the setup is h plus p comma k. That means the axis symmetry would be y equals 1, yes.
How do you do that?
Because since it's opening to the left,
Yep.
alright? But let's worry about this equation first before we get some other information. Now we do know that h plus p has to equal what number? 2. So if I were to use this and solve for h, you would get 2 minus p. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
And so if you knew p, you would just plug in and get your h, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this information right here, that h equals 2 minus p. We're going to use k equals 1, and we're going to use the point that the parabola contains and plug it in. So, let me recap. I'm going to use the point that they give me. I'm going to use k, because I know what k is. And I'm going to use the equation I just found for h and plug it in. So, the x and y represent the point that they give me. Okay? I know k is 1. I don't know what p is, but I do know that h is 2 minus p. Does everyone see what I just did there? I plugged in all my information. So I'm going to find p first. It's going to be the easiest thing for me to find. So what's 5 minus 1?
4.
Squared.
16.
And over here, you see why I put this in parentheses? Because that minus is going to have to distribute. What's 2 minus 2?
0.
And then, oh, actually, let me not skip. Let me just go ahead and write like this. Because I want you to be confused. I just went ahead and distributed over the negative. So 2 minus 2 is 0, so I'm just left with the p. What's 4p times p?
4p squared.
So how am I going to solve for p? Divide by 4 to get 4 equals p squared, and then plus or minus 2. But because it opens to the left,
It is plus 2 minus 2.
p is going to be a minus 2. Because the only way that it's going to open to the left is if p is going to be negative. And then you just plug that in. So h is going to be 4. It is a long process, but that's why I kind of, I build you up to that. Okay? So now my equation is going to be y minus 1 squared equals, if p is negative 2, it's going to be a
Negative 8.
negative 8 x minus That is my equation. Okay, so just to recap before we actually get to the graphing part. We were given our focus was 2, 1, which we knew had to be in the setup of h plus p comma k, mostly because it was open to the left. That's how we knew it was h plus p versus something different. And it contained the point 2,5. 2,5 actually lies on the parabola, which means that you can always plug that in for x and y. So knowing that it opens to the left, we knew it had to be in this general form. Because k was 1, we were able to plug that in. We used the point 2,5 to plug that in for x and y. And then we solved an equation for h and plugged that in. After that, we just did a little bit of algebra. That's how we got 16. That's how we got 2 minus 2 plus p. When we simplified, we got 4 equals p squared. Took the square root. P was negative because of what reason? Opens to 11. If it opens to the left or opens down, like Nancy, how you asked, it has to be negative. Okay? So then we were able to write our equation from there. So our vertex is where? 4, 1. So let's plot that. I go by 2's both ways, so 4, 1. My axis of symmetry is y equals 1. My focus is located at 2, 1. Where's my directrix at? 6, 1. Not 6, 1. What is it? X equals 6, because it's a line. So now I need just 2 points so that way I can graph my parabola that opens to the left. I'll let you guys figure out 2 numbers there, or a few numbers, and then we'll graph it.
How many points do you want us to plot whenever we do?
I would say this, just 2 so you can get an idea of how big or how wide it's going to be. So we know 2, 5, so that's going to be 2, 4. So then you're going to be 2, negative 3.
Yes. Yep. 2, negative 3.
Oh, that's 2. Yeah, what about 2? Is somebody give me another x value?
0.
Anybody do any negatives? Okay. Let's do a negative so you see exactly if it's like going to be skinny or it's going to be wide.
It's going to be pretty wide.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I've had a great time.
You said 7.3? Okay, so a negative 1, you're at 7.3. So then that means you are down here. So you're right, it's going to be pretty wide.
For negative
Okay, and there you go. That's how you write equations given your different pieces of information, your different characteristics. So you guys should be able to analyze parabolas now, finding focus, vertex, directrix, axis of symmetry. You should feel okay with graphing them and maybe even writing the equations, okay?